Cheating never just happens. It's not a slip, not a lapse in judgment, it's a slow, deliberate unraveling. And while most men want to believe it's sudden or out of character, the truth is far more calculated. A woman doesn't wake up and betray her relationship without first shifting inside. Long before she crosses any physical line, she's already checked out emotionally. That's where it begins. You feel her absence even when she's sitting right next to you. Her laughter becomes less genuine. Her eyes don't light up when you walk into the room. And her responses start sounding like echoes, present, but empty. You ask her how her day was, and instead of sharing, she just shrugs. She used to curl into you at night. Now she turns away. You try to hold her, and she stiffens just enough for you to notice. And in that moment, you realize something no man wants to admit. She's already gone, just not physically yet. You see, most men don't miss the signs because they're blind. They miss them because they don't want to see them. It's easier to believe she's tired, that work is stressing her out, that she just needs space. But deep down, you feel it. Her tone has changed, less warmth, more distance. Her patterns have shifted, more time on her phone, less time with you. She becomes emotionally unavailable in ways that don't match the woman you knew. She's still doing the routine dinners, chores, small talk, but there's no soul in it. And the worst part, you begin doubting your own instincts. You question whether you're overreacting, being insecure, making things up in your head. But you're not. What you're sensing is real. A woman doesn't just drift, she disconnects with intention. And that disconnect always leaves a mark. Emotional cheating is more than a subtle betrayal, it's the quiet death of connection. It doesn't announce itself with fireworks or scandal. It creeps in like a shadow. She used to share everything with you, her thoughts, her worries, the small moments of her day, but now, the conversations feel hollow. You ask how she's feeling, and she gives you one-word answers. You try to connect, and she deflects. "I'm fine," she says, even when it's clear she's not. But it's not that she's become more private. It's that she's opening up to someone else. The intimacy you once shared has been redirected, and she doesn't see it as betrayal. She calls it a friendship, a connection, something harmless. But you feel it in your gut. You're no longer her safe space. Her affection changes too. What used to be instinctive, touching your arm, leaning into you, playful glances, now feels forced or absent altogether. She used to crave your closeness. Now, she barely reacts when you reach for her. And if you do manage a moment of intimacy, it feels transactional, like she's checking a box, not expressing desire. That warmth, that spark, that energy, it's gone. Her body is present, but her soul isn't. She also starts putting more effort into her appearance, but not in ways that connect to you. A new perfume you didn't pick, lingerie she doesn't wear around you, hair done in a way she never cared about before. And when you notice, she brushes it off or gets irritated. That's because it's not for you, it's for how she wants to feel in someone else's presence. She's performing for a different audience now. Meanwhile, you're still trying to play your part in a relationship that's quietly lost its script. The betrayal isn't always loud, but it's always felt. The psychological breakdown begins when she starts seeing you not as her partner, but as her excuse. Slowly, subtly, she changes how she speaks to you. There's an edge in her voice that wasn't there before. Her jokes feel like jabs. Her compliments, if they still exist, are hollow. It's not just coldness, it's a quiet campaign to make you question your worth. She starts painting a version of you that doesn't reflect reality. Suddenly, you're emotionally distant. Suddenly, you never listened, never tried, never showed up. But you remember the late night talks, the effort, the consistency. You know what you gave. Yet she rewrites the story so she doesn't have to feel guilty about betraying you. Because if she can convince herself that you failed her, then what she's doing doesn't feel like betrayal, it feels justified. You start walking on eggshells. Things you used to do that once made her laugh now seem to annoy her. Your habits become irritations. Your presence becomes heavy. And the craziest part, she's the one who changed, but you're the one trying to fix things. You're bending, explaining, softening your voice to avoid setting her off. But no matter how careful you are, she finds a way to make you feel like the problem. That's not love, that's manipulation. She picks fights over the smallest things, gets mad when you ask simple questions, and when you try to communicate like a man, with clarity and calmness, she twists it into an attack. You say you feel disconnected, and she accuses you of being too sensitive. You ask for honesty, and she says you're controlling. It's psychological warfare, and if you're not grounded, you'll start to believe it. Not just that she might be right, but that maybe you deserve the way she's treating you. That's how good men lose themselves trying to hold together something that's already falling apart. Her view of you starts to shift, not because you've changed, but because she's already halfway out the door and needs to create a version of you she can walk away from. She begins subtly downplaying your worth. When you achieve something, a promotion, a fitness goal, a personal milestone, she doesn't celebrate like she used to. Instead, she acts unimpressed, like your success is inconvenient. What used to make her proud now makes her uncomfortable. She may even throw in a sarcastic comment or undermine you with a joke that hits just a little too hard. It's not humor, it's insecurity, because watching you grow while she's drifting away creates a gap she doesn't know how to manage. Your glow now threatens the emotional control she's trying to keep. And then comes the revisionist history. Suddenly, your entire relationship gets rewritten through a negative lens. You never made her feel special, she says. You were always emotionally unavailable. But the truth is, those weren't complaints before. They weren't even part of the conversation when you were deeply connected. This isn't honesty, it's a tactic. She's editing the past so she can justify her present disconnection. If she can paint the relationship as flawed, then her betrayal doesn't seem as cruel, it seems like survival. And if you're not careful, you'll start defending yourself against things you never actually did. This is the part where many men begin to lose themselves. They try harder, they overcompensate, they chase the version of her that's slipping away without realizing that the woman they're chasing isn't even present anymore. She's not struggling with confusion, she's creating distance with intention. The compliments stop, the respect fades, and the narrative turns from us to me. That shift isn't random, it's the emotional groundwork for her exit, and you're left holding the ruins of a love she's already walked away from in her heart. At some point, the betrayal stops being loud. It stops being defensive, cold, or even angry. It just becomes silent. She stops reacting altogether. You could go hours without talking, and she wouldn't notice. You could pull back emotionally, physically, mentally, and she wouldn't lean in. Not because she doesn't care, but because in her mind, she's already gone. Her affection becomes mechanical, her tone flat. You tell her good news, and she nods. You tell her you're struggling, and she says, "That sucks." There's no connection, no depth, no warmth. You're not her person anymore, you're just there. The future becomes vague. You talk about trips, plans, next steps, and she avoids them. "We'll see," she says, or "not sure what I want." But the truth is, She knows exactly what she wants, she just doesn't know how to tell you you're not part of it. She's already emotionally replaced you. You can feel it in her body language, in her distance, in the way she stops noticing your absence. You test the waters by withdrawing, and instead of chasing your energy, she pulls away even more. That's not growth. That's a sign she doesn't care if you leave. You stop being her priority, and she starts talking about independence like it's a badge of honor. I'm just doing me. I need to find myself. I want to focus on my journey. And while those phrases sound noble, they often hide the truth. She's already moved on. She just hasn't told you yet. Her energy is no longer invested in fixing the relationship, it's invested in softening the breakup. She doesn't have the courage to speak aloud. And when she finally does leave, it won't be a surprise. The real goodbye happened long ago, in the space between her silence and your efforts.